Hey guys, Tony Denaro here, and today we're going to be covering an advanced topic in options based on some DMs that you guys have been sending me. I'm going to be discussing the difference between being long and short on a stock versus being long or short on options. Let's get right into it. Both stocks and options have a long and short definition. Let's talk first about the definitions of long versus short for stocks. When you're long a stock, this means that you own the security. For example, if you buy 100 shares of Apple, you are long on Apple. Going short on a stock means you're selling a security that you don't own. So if you sell 100 shares of Apple that you don't own, you're short on Apple. You owe those shares to a lender, but you haven't actually bought them yet. To close out that position, you buy to cover. So you would need to buy 100 shares of Apple to close out your short position. Now let's move over to options and cover some basic definitions. The two main things that we're going to be talking about are sentiment and long versus short definitions. Sentiment is how do you feel about the underlying stock's next direction? You're either going to be bullish or bearish. Bullish is when you expect the underlying stock to increase in value. Bearish, you expect the underlying stock to decrease in value. Long and short on options, it has a very different meaning compared to long and short a stock. With options, going long means that you are buying an option. Conversely, going short means that you are selling an option. To reiterate, for options, going long means that you're buying an option. Going short means that you're selling an option. Now let's talk about a couple of these specific strategies. This video is not a training video on these specific strategies. It does assume that you already understand what they are. If you don't, please check out the other videos in my options training for beginners series. There are two basic ways of going long in options. The first is buying a call. You do this when your sentiment is bullish, and this is commonly known as a long call. The second is buying a put, and you use that strategy when your sentiment is bearish. This is also known as a long put. Or if you own the stock, it might be called a protective put, a married put. You can think of buying a long put in terms of insurance or a hedge against losses for an existing stock position where you're worried about the price of the stock declining. Now let's talk about the two basic ways to go short in options. The first strategy would be to sell a call. You would use this strategy if your sentiment is bearish or you have a feeling that the underlying stock is likely to decline in price. This is commonly referred to as a short call, a naked call, or an uncovered call. Or if you have a position and own some stock, it would be referred to as a covered call. The second short strategy is selling a put. You would do this if your sentiment is bullish. This is known as a short put, a naked put, or an uncovered put. So that, in a nutshell, is the difference between being long on options or being short on options. One is if you are a buyer, and one is if you are a seller of the option. In summary, it is important to note that being short an option means you are selling an option, not that you are shorting the stock or that you're trying to short the stock. As you can see here on the screen, you can be either bullish or bearish. You could think a stock is going to go up or down and take a long option position if you're a buyer of an option. By the same sentiment, you can be bearish or bullish and take a short position in options. Being short means that you are selling an option, not a reflection of your sentiment. That's going to wrap up my discussion on the difference between being long and short a stock versus being long and short on options. Please consider hitting that sub button if you got value out of today's discussion. I am Tony Denaro. I am here live every day during market hours answering your questions about stocks, options, and crypto. I hope to see you on a future live stream. Again, please don't forget to buy and hold that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.
You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability.